It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we'll see who rules the skies in today's battle. Hope y'all ready for this one. All that and more coming up next.
From the picturesque Pacific Northwest and the city of Seattle, welcome inside Lumen Field, where all the 12s make it at home for the Seahawks. Welcome to the booth, everyone. Mike Tirico and Greg Olson, all set for a good one here. Greg, this is one of those interesting things because you talk to both coaches. They've schemed, plotted all week, and the question becomes, who's got the plan that's going to fit against this other team?
Well, that's always the question, and I think if we really got honest responses from some of these play callers in pregame, I think they're not even quite sure. Everyone goes in feeling really good about the week work. They feel really good about where they are from a game plan perspective. But now, can you adjust? Can you find the elements of that game plan that are best suited for having success in this given game? That's the key.
The veteran Jason Myers will get this one started. And off we go from Lumen Field. To return is Greg Gordon. They get across the 20, mark them at the 22-yard line. So out comes the Arizona offense for the first time. And here is Kyler Murray, the #1 overall pick in 2019, to lead them.
I think we're seeing this so often now in the modern NFL is quarterbacks who can hurt you both improv as a scrambler and also with designed runs coming out of the huddle. So this is a tricky situation. Guys who can run with this kind of speed, you have to be very careful how you pass rush them. You're not just rushing to a spot. It's not just an X behind the center. You got to try to corral him and keep him in the pocket because when he escapes, big plays are to be had.
And he's going to be stuck at the line. No gain. Great way for the defense to open up here at home.
A lot of defense's strategy of defending the zone read, Mike, is we want that quarterback to pull the ball. It's one of their few chances throughout the course of the game where they can get their hits on him. And in this case, they're able to hold him to no gain.
And that is incomplete. Marvin Harrison Jr., the intended target. And it's going to bring up a third down.
They told us this week they were going to try to come out fast. And tell you what, that's exactly what they did. Put immediate pressure on this secondary and let them know, hey, all game long today, you better defend every blade of grass because we're coming out firing. And even though that ball falls incomplete, it goes a long way in setting up the rest of this game plan as the game unfolds. I think this is one of those plays that when the ball carrier watches this back in the film room tomorrow, he's going to be a little frustrated with himself. If he could just have made that one guy miss, he picks up the first down. Instead, he gets brought down short of the sticks, and now they got a fourth down decision to make.
A fair catch signaled, and they'll have it just outside their own 20. Here comes the Seattle offense to take over for the first time. They're led out by the #3 overall pick back in the 2018 draft out of USC. It's Sam Darnold.
And this is the opportunity Sam Darnold's been working for. I mean, to resurrect his career after some struggles early on in New York. He's had a bit of a mixed bag, but there is no mistaking the physical talent, the arm strength, the ability to play quarterback at a high level. He has it all. There's a reason he was drafted where he was, Mike, and I think Minnesota has themselves a sleeper here at the quarterback position.
Big gain on the ground here as he takes this up past the 40-yard line.
I think this is something that we can expect to see here, especially early, Mike, as this team gets into a rhythm. They want to lean on this run game. They feel like they have a lot of advantages over this defense, and you can see from the first play here why they feel that way.
They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground and keep it with Walker. Past midfield to the 45. And he is out of bounds all the way down at the 30-yard line. That's good for 27 and a first down.
There's a combination of footwork and vision, his ability to kind of weave through traffic and understand where the holes were. It's a really nice job working through some bodies and picking up a big gain.
To throw on first down is Darnold.
Certainly not the biggest play of the day, but a good example of picking up positive yardage, staying ahead of the chains by a well-timed ball and a well-timed route.
Here's 2nd and 3 to go. Working out of the gun, it's Darnold. Complete to the former Buckeye, Jackson Smith-Njigba. And he'll be taken down.
They've done a nice job spreading the ball around. Make the defense have to account for as many different weapons as possible here early. But think back to our conversation with this coaching staff, Mike. They identified this guy as someone they needed to get involved early and often, so that might be his first target. I don't think it's going to be his last.
He's got it at the 3. And he's going to be down close to the goal line. Good job defensively to make sure he did not get to the end zone.
Really nice timing on that slant route. You can tell the quarterback and the wide receiver are completely on the same page, and when executed at that level, it's virtually impossible to stop.
They'll run with Walker. He slams it in there, and he is in. Kenneth Walker, touchdown Seahawks. Good drive. They kept the ball. Greg, they moved it effectively down the field and finish it off on the ground for the touchdown.
So often, Mike, we see teams work on a great drive to get down here close, only to settle for a field goal. But in this case, give them a lot of credit. They put a great drive together, but they're able to capitalize and finish it off with 6.
Seven 0 is our score as this kick is sent into the air. Dortch now to return it. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line. The Cardinals offense going to take over now for the 2nd time. They were forced to punt the first time through. It led to a touchdown, so down 7 0 as they get the ball back for 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 now. They'll start from the 24. Out of the gun, it's Murray. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
The receiver thought he had a nice soft spot in that zone coverage, and he settles down to give a nice target to the quarterback. But the defense had eyes on him the entire time. Secure rally tackle prevents that from turning into a big play.
First carry for James Conner. And tough running there. He's up to the 32. Linebacker Ernest Jones ends that play.
And with that run, Mike, even though it brings up 3rd down, it still keeps this offense in what they call a 50-50 downs. It means with the down and distance provided, you can call a run or a pass, and both are equal threats. And that's what makes it so hard for these defenses to defend those situations.
It's a pickup of 13 yards. It's an Arizona 1st down.
And a nice pickup there by the back with an explosive run play. And it's important to point out, Mike, this offensive play caller, he's still working off that opening script. It doesn't necessarily have to just be the first possession. Using formations, using run game and pass. Unmask the defense and understand where to take the play calling as the game unfolds.
On 1st down, they'll stay on the ground with Conner. And some space opens as he's brought down following a gain of 6. One quarter in the books. It's the Seahawks with the early lead. Greg and I back in the Great Northwest in a moment. They'll work now on 2nd and 4. Murray looking to throw. Now he'll run. Oh, what a run. Down inside the 30-yard line.
You know, Mike, I like everything about this play except the very end. You've already picked up good yardage. You've already picked up the first down. Now get down on the ground and protect yourself. There's no reason to take those shots.
A give, running right. It's Connor. And it's a big run down to the 10-yard line.
Well, that's a heck of a 1-2 punch right there, and that's something that every offense stresses. The ability to be equally effective run and pass on any given snap. They follow up the successful pass play with a big explosive run.
On first down, Murray. That one caught by Wilson. And they'll get him down right around the 5-yard line. Second and goal. This is a give to Connor, running right. And he's going to lose yardage here, taken down back at the 8.
The idea here on second down is in the event you're unable to score, at least put yourself in a third and manageable goal-to-go situation. But now after taking a loss, it really changes their approach here. And I think on third and goal now, they got to put this ball in the air.
Third and goal. Murray. That is caught in the middle of the end zone. Marvin Harrison Jr. Touchdown, Cardinals.
When you think back to their first possession of this game, Mike, it resulted in a punt. Not exactly the fast start the coaches told us was so important as this game unfolds. They get the ball back for possession 2. Now they try to find some rhythm, find their identity of the game plan, and they come away with 6. So that's how you bounce back in this league. It's not always going to be perfect. Really nice job settling into this game here with their second possession.
Ryland's kick here is good. And the Cardinals will level things out at 7 apiece. We're all tied, 7 apiece, and the kick's away. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. And they'll manage to get this back only to about the 20-yard line. The Seahawks offense and Kenneth Walker ready to take over once more. We'll try to break out of this deadlock. We are all even at 7 as they start this drive, 1st and 10. They'll go play action with Darnold. A very quick throw there, but not on the same page with his target. That's incomplete. Cooper Kupp was the intended receiver, and that will lead to a 2nd down.
You know, there's a fine line between trusting your arm and having a little bit too much faith in your arm, right? I think this was one of those situations here, Mike, where there was nowhere to go with the ball. He tries to fit that one in there anyway, and he's lucky that it just falls incomplete.
And he'll be taken down up around the 32-yard line.
The goal of every offense, Mike, is to find a way to establish a balance between the run and the pass. With some success here early on the ground, will open up things as the game unfolds for the quarterback in this passing game.
Once again, it's Walker. And this time, they are ready for him. Thrown for a loss, and it's 2nd down.
Every team makes an emphasis on winning first down, but as a defense, when you're able to take them back for a loss, second and long, you can really become more of a pass-centric defense and really tips the scales into your favor.
Operating from the gun, it's Darnold. That's caught. It's Kenneth Walker. And he'll be taken down as we tick down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play. First half, all tied at 7. We're back to Seattle after this. We're going to try to pick this up on 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, here's Darnold. And that is incomplete.
This offense has to find a way to be better on 1st and 2nd down, Mike. Living in these 3rd and long situations, must pass, is not a recipe that their offensive coordinator wants to operate in.
So it's 4th down. The Seahawks send out the Aussie Michael Dixon to punt. And on the return for the Cardinals, it's Greg Dortch. And that is good coverage by the punt team as they meet him and bring him down. Here's Marvin Harrison Jr. and the Cardinal offense heading back out onto the field. They'll work in a tie game here in the 2nd quarter and get started with 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Murray. A throw left side, taken in by Wilson.
As a route runner, once you identify zone coverage like they were playing here, the key is find open space and stay in it. He did a nice job here because that was not a big hole. Quarterback had to put a little extra on that one, and they were able to make the completion.
Murray now on 2nd down. That's thrown right side, but incomplete.
So as halftime looms, Mike, they have to find a way to capitalize on this drive right here and make sure they end the half with some sort of points. Now, that incompletion, not ideal, but at the very least, it stops the clock. Catch your breath, get back in the huddle, and this next play, it's got to be a gotta-have-it best play call.
He'll try and get there on the ground.
This is an element that defensively you always have to be ready to defend. You can't just accept that it's a pass and be so consumed with the receivers downfield. You have to account for the quarterback as a scrambler. You can see why, as he's able to get out of the pocket and pick up the 1st down.
So from the 39, they come up on 1st and 10. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Just a great individual effort, and when you have a guy that can win his one-on-one matchups, now it becomes less about who's blocking him and how do we block him. Expect the offense to make some adjustments because right now, one-on-one, this defender's going to win every time.
Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. From the shotgun, it's Murray. He'll get that to Wilson. Well, they'll get some of the sack yardage back, but it's still going to leave them with 3rd down. So, 1 touchdown apiece for our two teams. 7-7 on the board here at the break. As we send you back east to sunny Florida. Standing by with our EA Sports Halftime Report, it's the coach, Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Mike, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our halftime report. We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. We welcome you back. It is quarter number 3. Could not ask for more from that first half. All even as we begin quarter number 3. This taken around the 11. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. the Seahawks offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. Low-scoring game, all tied, third quarter, and a touchdown here could go a long way. See if they can get it on this drive. 1st and 10. The tight end Fant in motion. On the ground, it's Walker to start the drive. And he is planted in the backfield. Defenders crashing through, blow up that play behind the line.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on 1st down, but that's exactly the case here.
A big run. They finally get to him and bring him down.
That's as dynamic a run as you're going to see. He gets really good initial blocking at the point of attack. That springs him loose. But then it's just his speed and open field running that does the rest.
So the big play gets him down close. And now it's 1st and goal. Here's Walker. Powering forward. He's in. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown, Seattle. 2 touchdowns for him now on the afternoon.
That just feels like a big drive, doesn't it, Mike? Here in the second half, you got a tie ball game. Now you're able to get out in front. Let's see how this other team responds, having to play from behind.
We got a ton of time, Greg, but a little momentum feel. Come out of the locker room, take the lead. Now it's up to the other team to climb uphill. So great way, perfect way to get this second half started. Myers now to add the PAT. He's got it. And the Seahawks will move out to a 14-7 lead. After the TD, Myers comes on now to kick it away. Dortch now to return it. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Cards offense trotting back out for their first involvement of this second half. They trail now 14-7 as they'll come up for 1st and 10. Start this drive on the ground, and it's Connor. Trying to find somewhere to move forward, but nothing going. Tackled for the loss of a yard.
The speed and the get-off by the big interior defensive tackle, Mike. I mean, he got through there so fast, he almost took the handoff himself.
Lost 1 on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. They'll go again here to Connor. Still keeping the legs moving, somehow managing to turn that into a gain. Third and 9. From the gun, it's Murray. Over the middle, it's Harrison. He's got a touchdown on the books from earlier, and that catch gets him a 1st down.
This pass defense, it just has to be better than this, Mike. They have to do a better job accounting for everybody in their coverages. They have to play their defense exactly according to the plan, because if not, this quarterback has enough weapons, he can spread the ball out and find the open space.
Set to go now on 1st and 10. Here's Murray. Go right back to Harrison. He's got him again. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on first down.
So they have these rules for the receivers, Mike. They call them green grass rules. And the idea is if you're running across the field and you're looking at the quarterback, you're going to stay on the run. If you're not looking at the quarterback, that tells him, I'm going to sit in this soft zone. I'm going to what they call punch and pivot and stop. And that tells the quarterback to put the ball on your chest. That nonverbal communication between the receiver and the quarterback, recognizing when you're open, stay open, that's the stuff that makes a lot of these offenses so difficult to defend.
They'll go right back to Connor. And he'll get this down inside the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 5 yards. They'll break the huddle. It's 2nd and 5. Connor from out of the pistol. And the defense there to meet him. They'll hold him to 2 and bring up 3rd down. Working from the shotgun, it's Murray. Open man, left side, he's got it. And he's going to have enough for a first down. He's out of bounds after a gain of 5.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. But really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. 14 on the pickup. It's an Arizona first down. So, 3 quarters have come and gone. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. So they move inside the 20, 1st and 10 at the 18. They face 2nd down and 7. Now Connor. And he will not be able to get free, picking up only a yard. Now it's 3rd down. Give running left. It's Connor. Riding off defenders here. He'll churn forward and pick up 3. Trailing late, they've got to go here. It's 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Murray. He pulls it in around the 5. And he will have the first down. So they roll the dice on 4th down in the red zone. And it pays off with 1st and goal.
And this is the blueprint, Mike. The ability to sustain and maintain possession and methodically move the ball down the field in the process. The defense has had no answers up until this point, and now the next step is, can they come away?
And he will dive into the end zone. James Conner, touchdown, Arizona. A huge touchdown there in the fourth quarter, and now just a point away from tying the game.
And that's one of those drives, Mike, where you know your best is needed. Can you come through here late and give your team a chance? They're an extra point away from tying this thing up, and we got ourselves a ball game.
The kick is good, and that will tie this game here in the fourth quarter. All even. Fourth quarter, everything we've wanted. What's in store in the remaining time? And he'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line. The Seahawks offense and their running back set to go once more. And as we look at the highlights, you see it's been tough to stop him here today. Couple of touchdowns in this ball game. He has, without a doubt, been the driving force in this offense so far. From the 25, they'll go to work. 1st and 10. This drive starts on the ground with Walker. And he finds a little bit of space. He'll take this forward for a gain of 4. Here's a 2nd and 6. Off the play fake. Here's Darnold. He's got the connection. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. First time they've looked his way all game long, but he comes through with the grab and a 1st down.
Anytime you're facing a zone defense, you're working from your first progression all the way through. But when guys are open in this level, Mike, they don't stay open very long. So what they taught us as receivers, if you're open, stay open. And if you're not open, you better get open quick, because that ball is coming out.
He'll complete it to Barner. And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play. And it wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest. And that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
So 2 minutes left to play in the second half. Greg and I back on EA Sports after this. Here is 2nd and 7. They'll drop to throw. They'll try to set up the screen here with Walker. They had the right play call. The screen goes for 15 and a 1st down.
A clutch throw here to keep their chances alive. Tie ball game as they approach midfield now. They've got to keep an eye on the clock. They've got to find a way to get this ball into field goal range, stop the clock, and see if your kicker could be a hero.
Now Walker. And he's got another one. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown Seahawks. That is his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. And making a hat trick. That is his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. a big reason his team is on top.
And so far, Mike, this run game has been the difference, and we're going to see in the second half. Now, can they protect this lead? Because, Mike, that's where a run game has its most value, and so far, this guy's been incredible.
Now the point after try from Myers. It's up and through. And the Seahawks have broken the deadlock as they move out to a 21-14 lead. So the lead is 7 now. Here in this fourth quarter, the tie has been broken. Let's see what happens on this kickoff. DJ Dallas now to return. They finally get him down, but he gets all the way up close to the 40-yard line. Out comes the Arizona offense. They get ready for their next possession. They trail here by a touchdown as this drive will start with a first down. Now it's Murray. He'll try to work the screen with Connor. Good hustle by the defense. They beat the offensive lineman to the blocks there. No gain on that screen pass.
It's a really good job defensively. The key is you don't want your defensive lineman to overcommit to rushing the passer, and you don't want your linebackers in secondary dropping too deep defending the pass. In this case, all three levels played disciplined, good football with good vision. That's why they're able to stop him for no gain.
That's to the right side. Caught by McBride. He'll get about 6 before he's taken down. No louder place than here in Seattle before third down. Here's Murray to throw. He's got his tight end. That's McBride. And the defense can't come up with a stop there. Gain of 7 and a first down. Again, it's Murray. He'll look middle and finds McBride, his tight end. And they'll take this down inside the 35.
And now we're at the point of the game, Mike, where someone has to step up and make a play. It's exactly what this quarterback and his receiver did. It gives them now a fresh set of downs and a chance to go down and make this game very interesting.
That one underneath here to Connor. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on first down.
Well, this is a great example of the old saying, Mike. You never go broke taking a profit. And give credit to this quarterback. I know it's not the big explosive play he was looking for, but getting the ball into the hands of his running back allowed him to pick up some extra yardage after the catch.
That's complete his big target, McBride. And he's out of bounds with the first down, so they get a new set of downs and just as importantly stop the clock.
This play is actually really well defended here, but I'll tell you, Mike, as you know, my philosophy is the tight end is always open, and this just supports my case.
Murray's gonna throw again. That is incomplete, so the task gets more difficult. Time for maybe 2 plays. That's it.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball.
He keeps it himself. And he's going to be taken down. Now 4 seconds left. And we get a timeout call. Here is 1st and goal. Here we go. One final play. A short one here, caught by McBride. And he'll be taken down, and that is going to do it. Oh, the comeback falls short. Time runs out. This game is over. So the 12th man, a factor here, as it's a win for the Seahawks. They use a little home cooking here. They play a complete football.